Our writers, readers, they invariably are. The case studies that I talk about in these videos serve to illustrate good examples that will help you see another person's writing style, another person's approach to a novel, another person's technique. And to quote Isaac Newton, "If I have seen further, it is by standing on the shoulders of giants." So this quote tells us that any progress we make is built on the knowledge and achievements of those who came before us. And this is why reading is so very important to your construction of your novel. As another case study, let us take a look at Jules Verne. He was born February 8th in 1828 in France. It was a bustling port city. His father, Pierre Verne, was a lawyer, and his mother came from a family of ship owners. From an early age, Verne was fascinated by travel, adventure, and the sea, and these became central themes in his works. He was educated at Catholic schools and developed a love for literature, particularly works of Victor Hugo, Edgar Allan Poe, and James Cooper. At 19, he traveled to Paris to study law. Following his father's wishes, he worked as a stockbroker to support himself, but he was forever writing. It was impossible for him not to write. During this time, he became deeply interested in science, geography, and technology, reading scientific journals and befriending explorers like Jacques Arago. In 1862, Verne met Pierre Hetzel, a publisher who recognized his talent. With Hetzel's guidance, Verne developed his signature style, which combined adventure, scientific concepts, and futuristic ideas. Verne's first novel, 5 Weeks in a Balloon, was published in 1863, and it was an instant success, marking the beginning of his Voyage series, a collection of adventure novels infused with scientific speculation. Verne's books were ahead of their time. They predicted technologies like submarines, space travel, and deep-sea exploration before they existed. His meticulous research gave the stories a sense of realism. His later works became darker, reflecting a disillusionment with industrialization and progress. He died March 24th, 1905, at the age of 77 in France. So, Jules Verne believed that every chapter was important, and you must always keep your reader engaged, intrigued. And so what is a chapter? A chapter is sometimes as difficult as the novel because it is a start. So it is difficult sometimes to begin or to know how to start. So let's take a look at a chapter and what makes it up. So It is a self-contained unit and it contributes to the overall story. The structure may vary depending on the author's style and the type of the novel, but a well-crafted chapter typically includes certain elements. Some authors name their chapters, and that hints at the theme or the mood or the key events in that chapter, while other authors simply give them a chapter number. The opening scene is a hook, and it is occurring in the first several sentences, and that grabs the reader's attention. And we could pull out and say, yes, but are we talking about the book overall? Because the first couple of pages is what a reader's going to read and determine whether they're going to continue. But the chapters will determine, again, whether a reader continues after chapter 1, after chapter 2, and so on throughout the book. So you must work at keeping that engagement, keeping it intriguing, forever being interesting. The opening scene has this hook, and this can be done through action, dialogue, description, a question or a mystery. The characters and the setting are established in the novel and in the chapter, and the chapter should clarify who is present in this scene, where and when the action is taking place, what the characters want or need. The conflict and development. The chapter should contribute to the novel's overall conflict, and it should be introducing possibly a new challenge or a complication, a decision the character must make, a revelation that changes the story's direction. Pacing and progression. The middle of the chapter should maintain momentum by building tension through obstacles or character struggles. It should be including dialogue or action to keep the readers engaged and providing insight into the protagonist's emotions and or thoughts. There should be a climax, a turning point. Not every chapter needs a dramatic climax, but many feature a high point. And you have to ask the question, what is the point of this chapter? Is it a point? Is there a point? And therefore, should this chapter be included? It should not just be filler. It should not be meaningless. So this is a question to always ask yourself, and sometimes you may write a chapter to determine that this is a chapter that you don't want and you don't need. And it may take that to determine that you don't want it. So key events are in this climax or chapter's turning point. A question may be answered or a new one may be introduced. A character makes a crucial decision. There could be a resolution or a cliffhanger, so the ending of the chapter should serve one of two purposes. It should have a soft ending that ties up events of the chapter while setting up the next chapter. It could have a cliffhanger that leaves the readers in suspense, pushing them to turn the page and begin the next chapter. The transition to the next chapter. The final line should create a natural flow to the next chapter. So hinting at what is coming next raising a new question, shifting to another perspective or storyline. One of the best compliments I receive on for my novels is that someone says they look forward and see that the end of the chapter is coming, and therefore they will read to that point and then go to bed. And on reaching the end of the chapter, they have said in multiple reviews, I couldn't leave it there. I had to start the next one to find out what was going to happen. So we want to be working hard to reach that level of engagement. A well-structured chapter balances plot progression, character development, and engagement, ensuring the reader remains invested in your novel. I do hope this video has been helpful to you, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Otherwise, thank you and bye for now.